JA, I might ask you now, JA, just to try and to do a bit of a wrap up for us there. There's been a lot of content we've rushed through there today, but if you could just give us a couple of minutes wrap up, that'd be great.
Yeah, thanks, Peter, and thanks for everybody who has joined us. Look, been a real honour to have been part of this discussion. Really, what I'm very keen on doing, and just being quite mindful of time, I certainly won't spend much time on this, but just we ask you that you reflect on your current style, whatever that current style is. And it might be a very good style of presentation that you currently use. We hope that we've been actually, we would challenge you that the style that you are currently using is effective, and only you can make a determination around that. Hopefully, we might have provided a couple of tips and traps around effective presentation techniques and style, and certainly, I guess the challenge now to you is the question: how can you improve on your facilitation skills, or in fact your presentation skills? And if you are so inclined, it would be lovely to receive any form of feedback. You've played with the comments in the chat box, and if you think that there is an element of this presentation that you think you might utilise, it'd be lovely to get that feedback there. So once again, don't be afraid to use the chat box to provide that information back to you. If we reflect back on what we set out to do within this webinar, we set out to identify the central tenets to effective delivery, what they were. I think we've done that. We've certainly identified a number of different presentation styles and a few different tips and traps and tools around how to provide that, and sought to provide some justification or otherwise, or some reasons why one type of presentation might be more effective than others. I don't want to labour the point, simply want to identify that that in trying to put presentation techniques for people in sport, it was incredibly difficult to try to narrow how much we put within the hour process. And I just hope that we've been able to provide some sort of information for people that has been perceived in some way as valuable. I'll leave you with this last slide if I could. Remember, it is all about the learner. It is learner-centered and facilitator-driven. Use a variety of strategies. Don't be afraid to repeat things, and certainly don't underestimate the power of questions in eliciting effective learning. On behalf of Jean, Peter, and Daryl, I really appreciate the time, and certainly hope that you guys have enjoyed this webinar.
Thanks, Jono. Thanks very much, everybody. I'd like to reiterate that thanks to John Armstrong, Jean Shembry, and Daryl Durham, and Catherine Duff, as well as moderator. Now, I always get asked this question about the PowerPoint presentation and about the content of this webinar, and they will be made available to you in the iWebinar library in about a week or maybe two. Depends how quick it is to edit the videos and that sort of thing. So the contents of this webinar, plus all your open questions and other questions that we'll address post the webinar, will be made available to every registrant on this particular webinar. So give me a week or two to put that together, but I'll notify you via email once that's done. So thank you once again for your participation. Don't forget, there is one more webinar in this series in 3 weeks' time around Play by the Rules, and I'll be sending out a notification about that as well. But thank you again to John Armstrong, Jean Shembry, and Daryl Durham, and to all of you for participating, particularly if you're from overseas. It might be just about time to go to work by now. So thank you very much for your participation, and we all look forward to seeing you on our future webinars. Thank you.